Hi, I'm Dr. Teena Downton. I'm a Rural Generalist GP-Obstetrician based in Cowra in Central West New South Wales. I'm a Rural Generalist with advanced skills in obstetrics. So I completed Fellowship of ACRM and RSCGP, and through my training here in Cowra I was able to develop my skills in both general practice and emergency through some shifts up in the local emergency department, which is run by GPs, as well as consolidate my skills in obstetrics after doing an advanced skills obstetrics year in Orange. Yeah, so I get to do a bit of everything. I found I did my obstetrics terms as a medical student in Bowral, and then I did some obstetrics terms as a resident in Tamworth. And I really enjoyed the privileged position you can be in as an obstetrics doctor, looking after couples and families at a particularly unique and special time in their lives. And I thought that I didn't feel going through the full obstetrics pathway and being in a hospital system was what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do a bit of community as well, and I felt that doing obstetrics combined with general practice would give me the ultimate continuity of care to look after couples and their kids before, during and after the whole birth process. And so it's been really rewarding having families come back with their kids. I enjoy maintaining some emergency as part of my rural generalist work. It helps me to maintain my emergency skills so that I'm ready to manage anything that comes through the door. They can range from general practice-based presentations such as coughs, colds, sore limbs, etc. And chronic disease management. However, you can get acute presentations come through, such as heart attacks, strokes, significant breathlessness that needs escalation of care. And certainly I feel that maintaining my emergency skills in a small GP-run hospital does enable me to, and it also does force me to maintain the skills that I can have that makes me useful in any situation. So in the hospital here in Cowra, we see things from trauma, from potential motor vehicle accidents that may arise. We also see a range of very sick patients with various ranges of infections. We see a lot of falls, potentially in the elderly. We see lacerations, farm injuries that may require washout or transfer to larger centres. And we also have support from the Critical Care Advisory Service. So we do talk to our larger centres to retrieve the more sicker patients out that need more higher level care. I think being a rural doctor is the biggest thing is the variety. Certainly every day or every week can be quite different, and it's great to feel that you're contributing medically in a lot of different ways. We've got really good support from colleagues here, and it's a really good team environment, and you definitely feel like you're making a difference in the community. Working rurally, there's less hierarchy. You can be a bigger fish in a smaller pond. Your access to be able to participate in clinical decisions and procedures is a lot greater. And as a result, I feel that I'm a lot more prepared for the next stages of my training than someone who would be in the city. The supervisors that I've come across when I've worked really have been really good. You can tell that they're very experienced, that they've seen a wide range of different things in their own clinical practice, and due to the lack of resources and other specialists to access locally, they often are upskilled in many areas, and they're also quite dedicated to try and help patients access the care they need closer to home. So where other GPs in their training may have to refer patients off more often, we get to manage a lot more locally with the support of specialists as required. I've certainly had a really nice and well-supported experience as a GP trainee. I certainly was attracted to come to Cowra initially by a lot of the GPs and supervisors here who I came across at conferences saying, come to Cara and we can give you different experiences to help you become a better doctor. And I've come here and found that the support's really good. The admin support's also really good here, so it makes my life a lot easier. And they're all experienced with helping get trainees through their training, so they know what they need to do to help with training as well as working and practicing. I'm proud to be a member of the rural medical community. I've been lucky to have been embraced into it when I was a medical student and through my junior doctor training, and I certainly find that it's such an energetic, vibrant, positive bunch, and we're all aiming to do the best we can for our communities, and it's always very invigorating to catch up when we go to conferences and other educational events. Going to these conferences, it does open your eyes to the range of different types of career opportunities you can do rurally. You can do simple, straightforward consulting and general practice. If that's what you want to do, you can go travel to different places. You learn about the different specialty interest areas that you can take up. You learn about different special interest groups that exist. You also learn about the different support that's available, either financially or through mentoring. Through meeting people at conferences, I've always leave the conference with multiple job offers and also multiple ideas on where I could potentially go and take for the next stages in my career. And it's really an exciting place to be when you're a junior doctor and you're still figuring out what the possibilities are. Rural journalism, I think, is the career that gives you the ultimate variety. It gives you the ultimate flexibility, the ultimate portability, and it's, I guess, a career that I see that I can continue to shape in whichever way best suits my family or lifestyle down the track in the future, as well as tailor it to whichever community I find myself ending up in. Do find that rural communities are quite embracing to try and support their newbie medical folk into the communities. So yeah, certainly within a few weeks of me landing in Cara, I was invited to join one of the local folk groups. So I play the piano accordion in the local folk group band, and we have session practices once a week. I also have been playing in the local women's soccer team, and that's been a great way to meet a great bunch of local girls and be involved with weekend sports. And there's also a really nice range of like parks and walking tracks and jogging tracks to go on. I try and get to the local park run when I can, and there's also a range of local events at a lot of very cute towns locally that you can always make a nice weekend of. A lot of the rural patients are very trusting and very open with their doctors, and so they do share a lot of their lives with you, and you do come across some interesting stories, and you realise that being a doctor, you probably have a very boring life compared to what a lot of other non-medical people have. But it's a privilege to be able to share in those stories with the patients. Going rurally and getting training rurally is definitely an advantage. When I was coming through, I had some friends and colleagues that I was going through who were a bit wary about going rural. Would be hard to get back into a city job. But I certainly feel that if I wanted to go back to the city, or if there were other reasons compelling you to go to the city, that I feel that I would be just as employable going back. When you work rurally, the bosses really get to know you. They are invested in supporting and training you, and I often have had friends who have moved jobs and they've found that close connection with their supervisor does allow them to get really good references. So I guess I've made the most of my opportunity to travel around, and so I've sought out different placements to just see different parts of Australia that I otherwise wouldn't have ever been to. And so I've done placements through university in Bowral, Broken Hill, Katherine in the Northern Territory, and then through my junior doctor training in Tamworth, Orange, and now Cara. So I never had any original plan to start with. I just kind of followed suggestions along the way, and then that's led me back here to Cara. And so I don't really know where I'll end up later on in the future, but there's certainly a lot of different possibilities. Anyone should be open to a rural career. It can open up a lot of different incredible possibilities for you and your lifestyle and your family, and it's certainly a really nice way of life. I certainly found as a medical student that going on one of the longer placements was a good experience for me to test whether I was ready to go rural for my junior doctor training, and I really had a great time, and so I figured, yep, I'm going to do the rural thing. Destination rural.
Yeah.